Are you thinking of pursuing a PhD this year and you're wondering if you're too old to apply? Are you wondering if it's worth applying at all? If you're asking yourself these types of questions, you've come to the right place. Hi, I'm Philippe Barr. I'm a graduate school admissions consultant, and I help people get admitted into their dream grad program. As a former professor, I've sat on several admissions committees for PhD programs. And based on my 15 years of work experience in grad admissions, I'm here to help you decide if 2024 is the right time for you to apply to a PhD. So let's get into it. If you've been surfing around the internet wondering if you're too old for PhD programs, it's probably because you have a few things on your mind. You're probably wondering if you're too old to even apply to PhD programs. You're probably also wondering if you'll be too old for your dream job post-PhD. And finally, you might be wondering, am I the right age to really get something out of a PhD program? If that's you, let's dive into these worries and find out if age should really stop you from chasing your dreams. If you're planning to pursue a PhD this year in the US and wondering if you're too old, you are not the only one. In recent years, age has become a bigger problem for people who are applying to PhD programs. And this is because many PhD programs don't require a master's degree anymore. And this means that they often take students who are right out of undergrad and who are 21 to 22 years old. Indeed, if we look at the data, most applicants to PhD programs are between 21 and 25 years old. So if you're in your 30s and 40s, you have the right to ask yourself, is it the end of the road for me? You'll be glad to know that the answer is no. In fact, age doesn't play any type of role in admissions decisions. Admissions committees could not care less about your age. They're going to be looking at your GPA, your GRE or GMAT score if they are required, your statement of purpose, your resume, and your letters of recommendation. To tell you the truth, being a little older can be a huge plus for you. It means that you're more mature, that you'll be bringing experience that could be of value to the classroom. And finally, it probably means that you're seeking a PhD for all the right reasons. Now, let's talk about experience. Since age equals experience, another of your concern might have to do with the fact that you've been out of school for some time. You might want to fast track your career or acquire new skills or knowledge that are going to make you more valuable in your role, or you're simply looking to make a career shift. And you might be wondering if this additional experience will be looked at positively by admissions committees. If your work experience is in your target field, the answer is yes. The experience that you've acquired, the skills that you have owned are going to be looked at positively by admissions committees. If your work experience is not in your target field, the answer again is yes, since you have the potential to bring a fresh perspective to your target PhD program. In other words, it's important to keep in mind that admissions committees are looking for a diverse range of qualities in candidates. They especially appreciate students coming from all sorts of backgrounds. This is because they bring different perspectives that make the learning space more engaging and adds to the discussions that take place inside and outside the classroom. So if you're worried that your non-academic experience might not be valued, think again. On the contrary, these experiences can make your application stand out. All you have to do in your resume and your statement of purpose is shine a light on the skills you've picked up through this type of experience and how these skills are transferable to the world of research. By the way, if you're wondering if you have enough research background to apply to PhD programs or you're looking to improve that research experience, I have a video right here where I break down what admissions committees look for when they evaluate PhD candidates from the perspective of research. So if this is something that interests you, I encourage you to check it out. Now, let's talk about employment. You might be wondering if you're too old for PhD programs because you have serious concerns about professional outcomes. You might be asking yourself, am I too old for a career shift? Or am I too old to put my career on hold for the next 5 to 6 years? And especially if you're considering academia, you might be asking yourself, does age matter in hiring decisions? You'll be pleased to learn that age isn't really taken into account in academia. Instead, universities focus on qualifications. Basically, hiring committees will take a look at your research. Is it relevant? Is it innovative? Is it rigorous? And does it mesh well with the type of research that they are conducting at their institution? They'll also look at your teaching experience and if you have the skills and the qualities to be a good professor and a good mentor. If you are interested in academia, this means that if you have groundbreaking research and great teaching skills, you will get hired no matter how old you are or think you are. It's pretty much the same for non-academic employment. We all know in the US that it is forbidden by law to make hiring decisions based on age, so you shouldn't be too concerned about this. But if you still have some concern, I highly suggest taking a look at positions that you'll be seeking post-graduation to make sure that you fit the profile. By the way, if you are an older PhD student, you are in a program or you're currently applying, please feel free to share your experience in the comment section. Let us know what has been especially difficult for you, what has been especially easy as an older student applying to PhD programs. I'm very interested to hear about your experience, so don't hesitate to share it in the comment section. Next, let's talk about educational experience. Many PhD applicants are concerned about their age because they're concerned about the type of experience that they will have once in the PhD program. Some people have family commitments, some people have kids, some people have other goals than getting a PhD, and they're wondering if these goals are going to be in alignment with the timeline of pursuing a PhD. If you are in your 30s and 40s, you might also have a series of more personal questions. Will you be able to keep up with your peers? Are you really up for years of intense research and studies? Or you might be worried about societal perceptions and expectations. Let's admit it, we live in a society that loves to set deadlines for success, and these pressures could shape your experience during your PhD studies. How will you feel being the odd one out? Are you comfortable being the oldest person in the classroom? Are you worried about how other students will be looking at you? Coming up with answers to these questions will require some introspection on your part. You'll need to think about what feels right for you and dig deep before making a decision. Reach out and contact people who have had experience being in a PhD program in their 30s and 40s. It's a great way for you to find out if the type of experience fits with what you want and if you have what it takes to be happy and successful in a PhD program. Overall, as you can probably see by now, age is just a number and doesn't really play a huge role in academia, which means that it's never too late to pursue your dreams. Most institutions value diversity, and that includes age. What truly matters is your academic ability, your research potential, and how your goals align with the goals of your target program. So if you're in your 30s and 40s and you are worried about your age, a good strategy is to shift the focus from age and focus on fit. You should focus on making sure that your profile fits with the profile of current students in the program. So you should take a look at the average GPA of students in the program. If test scores are required, what's the average GMAT or GRE? What type of work experience they've had? What type of research experience do they have, etc., etc. Another way to shift the focus from age is to think about your PhD in terms of timing. So instead of asking yourself, am I too old for a PhD? You could ask yourself, am I ready for a PhD? If you jump in too early without the right type of experience, you might not make the cut. If you wait too long, you might be up against tougher competition and fewer spots. Keep in mind that timing is everything. In conclusion, more and more people are hitting the books later in life, showing that the whole age requirement thing for PhD is outdated. Being older simply means that you're bringing a wealth of experience, knowledge, and motivation to the table. So you should see your age not as something that's holding you back, but as a superpower. So go out there, chase your dreams, and show the world that passion and ambition is not just for the young. So now that you know that you're not too old for PhD programs, you might be wondering how to pick the right one. So if you're interested in learning more about what to do when selecting a PhD program, and especially what not to do, I highly encourage you to watch this video where I go into detail into different strategies to take to make sure that you pick the best PhD programs for you. Well, that's all, folks. I hope this video was helpful in helping you decide if 2024 is the right moment for you to apply to PhD programs. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button or subscribe. I will be sharing more videos about applying to PhD programs, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.